So we've already done how long is a light year, but we did it in metric and not everybody uses metric, so we're going to just do a version in miles. So if you want to know how fast is the speed of light, the speed of light is 186,000 miles per second. So when I do the calculations, I do all the digits, but I'm going to round off, simply so we don't have to spend all the time staring down at the my notes here. But if you are doing the calculations with me, you might notice that sometimes things don't really work out. That's just because of rounding, so things don't always work out perfectly. But anyway, it's actually 186,287 miles per second. Now, by the way, I'm starting with this. If you do all the math and you don't round, you'll get a more precise number. And actually, this is pretty darn precise. We really have the speed of light down to a T, as it were. Okay, so that's how far light goes in a second. That's like 8 times around the Earth. That's most of the way to the moon, but not all the way to the moon. But let's find out how far it goes in a minute. So you multiply by 60, and you're going to get that it goes about 11 million miles per minute. 11 million miles, let's just say it would take you a little more than 8 minutes to go from the sun to the Earth at 11 million miles per minute. So we're talking greater distances through space. Earth is 8 light minutes from the sun. Let's find light hours. So let's multiply this again. So 60 minutes an hour multiplied by 60, and we get 670 million. Don't forget the zeros. This is why I usually use scientific notation so you don't lose these zeros. But we're not going to do that today. So that's miles per hour. So in 1 hour you go this far. That's basically the distance from the sun to beyond Jupiter. So Jupiter's a little less than a light hour, and Saturn's a little more than a light hour from the sun. Now let's find a light day. So we're going to multiply that by 24. When we do that, we end up with about, okay, I had a brief moment of thinking I did something horribly wrong. We have about 16 billion, got to keep all those zeros, miles per day. Miles per diem, if you prefer. So, that takes you, a light day takes you beyond Voyager, beyond the farthest human spacecraft that we still have contact with. I'd have to check to see if Pioneer is maybe a little further away. But everything that we have contact with in the universe falls within a single light day from us. That's how far out a light day is. It is beyond the solar system. But that's still not a light year. Now, because there's an uneven number of weeks in the year, and also when you think about months, not all months are the same number of days. We're going to go straight from the day to the year. So multiply by 365.24, the number of days in the year. Remember, we have leap years for a reason. And you get, about 5 trillion. I'm going to put a couple more digits in here just so that 879 billion. And now we're rounding. Let's make sure that I'm rounding this right. So, 5,879 billion miles. That is the length of a light year. It's a very long way. Now, a light day takes you clear out of the solar system, beyond any human spacecraft that are operational, into interstellar space. A light year, well, you're still in interstellar space. It doesn't even take you to the next solar system. The nearest solar system is more than 4 light years away before you get to our next nearest neighboring star. So the universe is big. And that is what a light year is. Now, by the way, I usually tend to use metric because metric is used all over the planet. Miles, really, it's just us here in the United States. If we ever spread beyond Earth, we're going to need to find new measurements because metric is based on the dimensions of the Earth. People on Mars might not find that as convenient. They might want a different set of units. AUs, which we usually use to measure distances in the solar system, 1 AU is the sun to the Earth. It's very good for helping people learn things in science books, but we will probably not want to use that either because, you know, if you're living on Mars, the distance between the Earth and the sun doesn't really have any relevance to you. And even the light year, if we go on out there, anybody who doesn't want to live on Earth is probably not going to want to use light years as a measurement either, because although the speed of light is a constant everywhere in the universe, a year is really determined by what planet you're on. In this case, we're using an Earth year. A Mercury year is considerably shorter. A Jupiter year is considerably longer. So at some point, if we're really traveling through space, we may need to find newer measurements for distance. But this works pretty well for us right now. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.